My dear friends, have you ever noticed something strange? The moment your life goes through a storm, suddenly the whole world becomes concerned. Some want to know what happened, some want the details, some want the spicy version, and very few actually want to see you healed. Today, we are going to solve a silent problem that almost all of us face but hardly ever talk about. We share our pain with people who are not meant to carry it. And then we wonder why the pain increases instead of decreasing. Have you ever looked at a glass of water? When you shake the glass, it's not the shaking that brings the water out, it's the water inside. In the same way, when life shakes us, whatever is inside us comes out. And pain comes out fast. But the real question is, where does it go? Whom do you give it to? Who becomes the container of your emotions? Most of us treat our heart like a public dustbin. Anyone can come, look inside, comment on the mess, throw something of their own, and leave. Then we sit confused, wondering why we feel heavier, more confused, more wounded. Today's topic is very simple but very powerful. Never share your pain with everyone. Because not everyone who listens to help. Some listen to judge you, some listen to compare. Some listen to entertain themselves, and some listen only so they can share your pain as their gossip. Let's begin this journey gently with 4 deep lessons that will protect your peace for the rest of your life. My dear friends, pain is not a language that everyone can read. Some people look at your tears and think you are weak. Some look at your silence and think you are angry. Some look at your loneliness and think you want attention. And some look at your struggle and think you deserve it. Why? Because they are interpreting your pain through their lens, their experiences, and sadly, sometimes their insecurities. Imagine you walk into a hospital with a fracture, but instead of going to a doctor, you show your X-ray to random people in the waiting room. One person laughs, "Oh, I had a bigger fracture." Another says, "Are, you're exaggerating." Someone else says, "You should have been more careful. Your fault." And a few don't even look at the X-ray, they just give advice. Put some turmeric, drink hot water, and run 5 kilometers every morning. That's how the world behaves with emotional pain too. Everyone wants to comment, few want to understand. Understanding emotional pain requires compassion, maturity, empathy. And let's be honest, not everyone has these qualities. When you give your pain to someone who cannot understand its depth, they shrink it. They question it, they minimize it. And when they minimize your pain, you start doubting your own emotions. And that is the worst punishment you can give yourself, doubting your own heart. You must understand one thing, your pain is sacred. It's a very personal part of your journey. When you hand it to the wrong people, they treat it carelessly. Some even turn it into a weapon against you. One day, they will say, "Remember that thing you told me?" Yes, that weakness. And you feel betrayed. But was the betrayal theirs or yours? Because you gave the key of your emotional home to someone who doesn't know how to handle delicate things. Pain shared with the wrong person increases. Pain shared with the right person heals. That's why never share your pain with everyone. Share it only with those rare souls who can hold it with respect. And remember, if someone cannot understand your silence, they will never understand your words. Opening your heart is like opening the doors of your home. You don't allow every visitor to roam in your bedroom or open your cupboards. Then why do we allow strangers, acquaintances, and emotionally immature people to walk freely inside the most private parts of our heart? Vulnerability is a beautiful gift. It is the courage to say, "I am hurting. But I trust you enough to hold my story with care." But if you give this gift to everyone, you will eventually feel like a shopkeeper giving away diamonds for free. Let me tell you a small story. Once, a man had a very precious crystal vase, beautiful, transparent, delicate. He loved it deeply because it belonged to his grandmother. One day he moved to a new neighborhood and invited some people over. One of the guests picked up the vase, didn't understand its value, and dropped it casually on the floor. It shattered. The man was furious, but the guest was confused. Relax. I didn't know it was valuable. This is exactly what happens with vulnerability. When you share your most delicate emotions with people who cannot understand their value, they drop them casually and you stand there picking up the broken pieces of your trust. Every pain you share carries a part of your heart with it. So be very careful whom you hand it to. There are people who will misuse your vulnerability. They will pretend to listen, pretend to care, and then later use it as a point in an argument, a topic of gossip, or proof that you are weak. Some people love the story more than they love you. Some love the drama more than they love your healing. Some love your vulnerability because it makes them feel stronger. That's why never become emotionally naked in front of people who don't deserve to see your soul. Vulnerability is powerful when you offer it to the right people, but it becomes self-destruction when you offer it to the wrong ones. You deserve to be understood, not exposed. You deserve to be supported, not studied. You deserve healing, not humiliation. So guard your heart, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Choosing the right circle is choosing the right life. Many wounds in our hearts were not caused by enemies. They were caused by the wrong friends. They were caused by people we trusted too fast and too deeply. Pain becomes heavier when the shoulders you lean on are weak. Pain becomes uglier when the ears you share with are unkind. Pain becomes dangerous when the minds listening are negative. You must understand that not everyone in your life is meant to be your emotion support. Some people are meant for fun, some for work, some for guidance, and some simply for casual interaction. But your pain, your raw truth, belongs only to a few. Picture this. You are drowning emotionally, and instead of swimming toward a lifeguard, you shout for help toward tourists taking selfies. They might take your picture. They might upload it, but they won't save you. This is what happens when you share your pain with people whose hearts are not trained to handle emotions. Instead of helping you rise, they let you sink deeper. Your circle should have people who listen without judgment, people who comfort without comparison, people who guide without controlling, people who protect without publicity. If someone makes you feel guilty for being vulnerable, they are not your circle, they are your lesson. If someone makes your pain the center of their entertainment, they are not your support, they are your danger. If someone takes your secrets to others, they are not your friends, they are your exit point. Remember, some people don't want to see you heal because healing makes you stronger and your strength threatens their comfort. You don't need a big circle. You need a wise circle. And sometimes the wisest circle is just two people. One who listens, one who understands. And if you ever find both in one person, keep them close because emotional loyalty is rare in today's world. My dear friends, silence is not weakness. Silence is intelligence. Silence is healing. Silence is protection. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. Not because you have nothing to say, but because you have nothing to waste. Not every pain needs an audience. Not every wound needs public attention. Not every emotion needs to be spoken. Some things are meant to be felt, not shared. Some struggles are meant to be processed privately, not announced publicly. Silence gives you time. Time to think, time to understand, time to heal. When you speak too early, you speak from confusion. When you speak to everyone, you speak into noise. When you speak without thinking, you speak your wounds instead of your wisdom. Have you ever noticed? When you keep quiet about your pain, you heal faster. But when you talk about it repeatedly to the wrong people, your pain becomes your identity. You get stuck in it because you are reliving it again and again through your words. Silence is not just a lack of noise, it is a shield. A shield that protects you from judgment. A shield that protects your dignity. A shield that keeps your inner world sacred. If someone truly cares, they will understand your silence. If someone wants to help, they will wait for you to speak when you're ready. If someone respects you, they won't force you to share what hurts. But the world today glorifies oversharing. Tell me everything, they say. Open up, they insist. But maturity is understanding that not everyone who asks deserves the answer. Your silence is your power because it keeps your emotional energy safe. Not telling people everything doesn't make you distant. It makes you wise. My dear friends, life becomes simpler when you understand one small thing. Your heart is not a public place. It's a sacred space. And not everyone deserves access. Never share your pain with everyone, not because the world is bad, but because your heart is precious. Some people heal you. Some people hold you. Some people hear you. But some people hurt you. Choose wisely whom you trust with your emotions. Protect your peace. Honor your pain. Heal privately. Grow silently. And speak only when your heart feels safe. Because at the end of the day, the real strength is not in sharing everything. It's in knowing what to share, when to share, and with whom to share. And that wisdom will transform your entire life.